So, you think you know what an atom is, right? You've got that picture in your head, a tiny little solar system with electrons zipping around a nucleus. It's what we all learned. But what if I told you that pretty much everything you learned in school about the very building blocks of our reality, well, it's not the whole story. Not even close.
So let's just start with that question right there. What if that neat, tidy picture of the atom from your old science textbook isn't just a simple version of the truth? What if it's actually getting in the way of understanding how reality really works?
To see what I'm talking about, let's just quickly go back to that familiar model. You know the one. Let's call it the classroom atom. It's the one we can all picture, the one that seems to make perfect, logical sense.
Yeah, this is it. We are all shown this beautiful, simple picture. You've got the nucleus in the middle, like a sun, and then these tiny electron planets just orbiting around it in these perfect, predictable little paths. It's clean, it's easy to understand, it's just not true.
Okay, so here's where things get really, really interesting. The quantum reality is just a whole different world. Instead of tiny planets, you have these dynamic, vibrating patterns. Instead of fixed orbits, it's more like a beautifully structured quantum dance. And maybe the most shocking thing of all, instead of solid little particles, the reality is that an atom is mostly just empty space.
Let's dig into that last point, because it is genuinely one of the most mind-bending facts in all of science. The surprising truth about matter is that there's not much matter in it.
And I'm not exaggerating here. The scale is just staggering. Get this. If the nucleus of an atom were the size of a marble sitting in the middle of a giant football stadium, the electrons would be like tiny specks of dust, way, way out in the nosebleed seats. Everything in between? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just empty space. Which, of course, brings up a pretty big question, right? If you, me, the chair you're sitting on, the phone in your hand, if all of it is made of stuff that's 99.999% empty space, then why does anything feel solid? Why doesn't my hand just pass straight through the table?
Well, the answer means we have to completely shift how we think. We've got to throw out that whole idea of tiny solid balls and start thinking about reality in a new way. And it all comes down to something we can call the quantum dance. See, here's the crucial idea. An electron doesn't really have a fixed path. It's not a thing moving. It exists in what's called a state, which is more like a region of possibility. Think of it like a vibrating guitar string. The string isn't in just one place at one time. Its energy creates a shape, a pattern. That's kind of like an electron state. It's a dynamic, humming pattern that follows these incredibly precise mathematical laws. And what we feel as solid is just the interaction, the repulsion between these patterns. Let's just break that down into 3 simple ideas. First, you have to let go of the idea that particles are tiny balls. They're just not. Second, what we think of as solid matter is really just the result of interactions and forces. It's all about the push and the pull between these energy fields. And third, that means that at its very core, reality is made of beautifully structured motion. It's a cosmic dance.
So what does all this actually mean for us living our day-to-day lives? I mean, this isn't just a cool science fact. Understanding this really forces you to kind of rethink reality itself. You know, the source material for this explainer put it perfectly. It says, matter, at its most fundamental level, is not made of solid objects, but of interactions, forces, and beautifully structured motion. Our universe isn't a collection of tiny things. It's a symphony of interactions.
So really, what we've talked about here is an invitation. It's an invitation for you to look past those super simple models we all got as kids and to embrace a much deeper, much stranger, and honestly, a far more beautiful view of how the universe works.
And that really leaves us with one final huge thought. I mean, if atoms are mostly empty space, and the particles inside them aren't even solid things, but just these patterns of potential and interaction, then what does that truly say about the fundamental nature of our reality? What are we made of, really? Maybe just a beautiful, incredibly complex dance of energy.